What's up, everyone? This tutorial is going to be a little bit different because instead of just kind of setting up a random app to test from, this is going to be the first tutorial in more of a series where I'm actually going to build out an entire app. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what that app is. Now, this tutorial specifically is going to be going over inviting people to connect with you in an app, connecting to users essentially, by using a special code that's automatically generated, kind of like a friend sharing code, instead of the typical social media where you search somebody's username and add them that way. So it's like people are a little less discoverable. It's more of a private sharing type situation. The reason I want to do that is I've had this app idea for a while now where I guess I should say the problem that I want to solve with this app is I feel like I have a really hard time with my spouse deciding where to eat. I think it's like a first world problem that a lot of people experience, whether it's a spouse or a coworker or a roommate or really whoever it is. It's hard sometimes to agree on where you want to go to eat. So this app idea is where two people would connect and kind of go through a list and say yes or no using a deck swiper, so kind of like a swipe left, swipe right on yes or no where you'd like to eat. And then at the end of the list, it would say, you know, here are the places that you both would like to eat at. Just trying to solve the communication problem with an app. So welcome to the 21st century. But anyways, I want to start building the app. We're going to start with this tutorial just doing the invite code feature. And then with future tutorials, we're just going to build on top of that and build more into it until we have a fully functioning app, hopefully published to the App Store, but we will see if we meet the guidelines once we get everything done. So let's jump in. All right, so I've got my pretty basic starter app already going here. It's got your default sign up, login, and home screens. I've added a full name field to the sign up because I think that will be good to have. And then let's see what else here. Oh yes, in the database for the users, I've also added a unique code field. So you could, when you're adding a unique code field, use a text or a number field. I think text is a little more flexible because you could add in letters later if you wanted to, but I'm planning on just doing like a 6-digit random code, which actually leads me to the next part here, which is what's going to make all of this work, is a custom component. So there's a component that was developed by Emperical. Let me find it. There it is. So by Emperical, this is called Randomizer, and it generates a random value. So you can do a number, a date, an ID, or a 6-digit code. So you can do all sorts of different random, number generators here. I've already installed it, and I'm going to show you how to use it. So what we will do is we're just going to drop it in on the home screen, and I'm going to put it up here on the app bar just so it's out of the way when I'm clicking around on here. It's kind of odd. You'll notice that it's basically an empty element. It's completely clear. It doesn't get in the way of anything, but it's not just like a custom Adalo action that's built in. So it does have to be placed on the screen somewhere, and then it activates when the user visits that screen. So what I'm going to do now is add the actions to get this all set up. We can just click on it. We get the settings on the left-hand side. I'm going to click Add Action. And the first thing we want to do, or actually I think the only thing we want to do, is update the logged in user. And we want to set that unique code. And using the magic text, we can just go up to Randomizer and choose any of these. I'm going to choose the 6-digit code for this one. And then I want to set an advanced option here, where this only sometimes happens. And that's because we don't want the code to overwrite an old code every single time someone visits the home screen here. We really only want it to happen the first time somebody visits. So we can set the action to only run if the logged in user's unique code is equal to empty. So that means if they visit the home screen, they don't have a unique code set, then it's going to generate one for them. But if they already have one set, it's just going to ignore it and not override it or anything. They'll keep the same code. So that's what we want. I'm going to click Done here. We're going to finish out the rest of this feature where somebody can use the code to add somebody as a contact or like a connection. So let's start that piece. We first need to get our database set up to handle this. So we need to have a relationship from users to other users where they can connect with each other. So I'm going to set up a relationship to users, do a many-to-many relationship, and we'll call this connections. Okay, cool. Now, how do people connect? So this is the part where we need to build out an interface where somebody can enter in someone else's code and then connect with them if they have their code, whoever it might be. So let's add a new screen to build this onto. And I'm going to copy the home screen because I like the style we've got here. So I'm just holding Option, or you could hold Alt if you're on Windows, and Shift as well to keep this vertically aligned. And then we will rename this. Let's call it Connect. And we want to delete the randomizer because we don't need it here. Oh, just deleted the action. There we go. Okay. I'm going to also turn off this right icon and add a left icon that goes back. That's already set up, so that is easy. And then let's change the title here from home to new connection. Okay, cool. Next, what I need to do is add my list of users that we're going to be able to filter through. So I can just click and I can use a simple list. That's probably easiest here, especially since they're so customizable. So we're going to make this a list of users. We're going to change the divider to a full divider. I'm going to make this a little narrower and put this in the center. All right. And then let's do this. Let's go to the background, make sure it's white, and give it some extra style here. Not bad. I don't love the shadow, so let's get rid of that. Awesome. I think I like this. Now, one thing I want to do is add a right section here and just use this add icon, which is perfect. We can match up the colors we've got going on. Actually, I think I want this darker. There we go. Easier to click that way. Okay, cool. Now what we want is when somebody taps the plus, we need an action that updates the current user's connections by adding the logged in user. Okay, so we're updating the current user by adding the logged in user, and then we also want to do the vice versa of this and update the logged in user by adding the current user. So that way, whoever I'm trying to add is added to my list, and then I'm also on their list. Since I have a code, this is the best way to do it because it's sort of like they've already approved me to be a friend if they've shared a code with me. Now that I'm looking at it, I want to make the plus a little lighter. Maybe that works. Yeah, I think that's better. Okay, so here's where the magic part comes in. And I don't know why I spent so much time styling this because it's actually going to show up as just one person down here. What we want to do is add a field. So we can go down to forms and fields, get a text input, drop it in the top. We're going to edit the styles so that it looks similar to the list here. We need to change the border color. There we go. All right. And this is going to be where somebody enters a code. So instead of enter text, we can call this enter code. The default value we'll just leave blank. And then we will set this as a number input. And then here on this list, what we can do is set a filter. So this is going to, first of all, show all users. And then it's also going to filter the unique code to only show people who have the code equal to the form input. So when you're putting in a code, it will populate the list with the person that matches that code, is kind of the long story short there. So I'm going to take off the subtitle, make sure my title is the full name, like that, and perfect. This piece is now actually done. So what we can do is we can grab the code for our test account. Here we go. So it's 885770. We can hop into preview mode. Before we do that, I need a button to add a new connection. So let's do this. Let's call this new connection. And then I want to link to the connect screen. I can slide left there. And once I've added a connection, let's also link back. And just to show that this is working, one more thing here. I'm going to copy the list over and get rid of that plus. Actually, for the right section, let's change this to a close, like a delete option. And we're going to update. Basically, we're just adding the option now to remove a connection. So if you didn't want to share your food preferences anymore, let's do this. Let's update the current user to remove the logged in user, and also update the logged in user to remove the current user. Okay, and let's see, anything else I need to do here? We don't want to link back after doing that. All right, let's add a title. Oh, and also we need to take the filter off here. This is just a list of the logged in users' connections. Okay, max number of items, that's all good. Let's add a list header and call this connections. Okay, I think we're ready to test, but we'll see. Let's hop into preview mode. Actually, we're not. I forgot the code. Back into users. Okay, let's just copy this. Go into preview. I'm going to log out and log in as my test account. Pro tip, when you're making a lot of accounts so you can test things like connecting with each other, just set the password to password, literally password. I don't recommend that any other time, but right now that's easiest because then you don't actually have to try and remember what your passwords are. Okay, so we're in our test account. Oh, I did that backwards. If I'm in my test account, I need the unique code for my account. Whoops. All right, back into preview. We're in our test account. We can click new connection. Right now we're not seeing anything here, but we put in the code and there we go. I can connect with myself. Now, just to show you, this doesn't populate if I get the code even close. I have to actually put the code in that matches before this shows up. So this is a pretty good way at keeping things private. It's not necessarily a password, but it is a way that you can only show the people that match the code. So I'm gonna add myself here, and it should add me and link back. Maybe not though. Oh, I set the action not on the icon, just on clicking the thing itself. That was my mistake. So let's fix that really quick actually. So right now the click actions are to update the users. Let's take that off though, because I only want that on the right section. So when they tap the plus, we will update the current user by adding the logged in user as a connection. Let's also add the logged in user, or update the logged in user with the current user. And then let's link back. Okay, this is all good. Now, one more thing I could do is change the visibility on this list, because you saw that it was kind of that weird outline under here. I could say it's only visible if the form input contains or is not equal to empty. That way it only shows up when people start typing. It just makes for a little cleaner experience there. We need to make a way for someone to generate a new code. So that is one thing. Let's say someone's code got out, you're really famous and your code was cracked on the internet and everyone's adding you as a connection now. It's probably smart to add an option to reset your code. So let's add a new icon on the home screen that looks like a profile. That works. And then let's create a new screen for this to go to. So I'm gonna copy the connect screen, just holding Alt and drag here. We'll call this profile. Okay, rename the top title with profile as well. And then what we want to do is display the code, first of all. We'll just say here we go. We'll use magic text to grab that code, logged in user code, and then we want to make this quite a bit bigger. Could do like 32, and we'll just align it in the center. Let's do a different font. Here we go. We'll make it really stand out. We can center this too. And then we also want a reset code button. Let's get like a refresh icon. Perfect. Okay. Let's make this like a red. Nice. I like that. So for the reset code button, what we'll need that to do is link to a screen that has our special randomizer component on it, but we can't just link back to the home screen. We need to link to a new screen. So I'm gonna try this. Let's just add a screen. We'll do blank, but let's say reset code is our screen name. And when they click on reset code, let's link to the reset code screen. We can just do transition. Let's do a modal. Let's use our Lottie trick actually. So let's do a modal. We'll link to the reset code. And then on the Lottie screen, let's actually have the reset or the randomizer and set a new code for everyone. So let's edit styles. Let's just do, actually, let's leave that alone. We want the background though to be gone. So take off the alpha channel here. And then I'm going to add a rectangle. We'll make it a square with some rounding. Probably like 150 by 150. Okay, actually, let's move it up a little bit. So I'm going to grab a Lottie now so we can add it to this screen. All right, so I got my Lottie code. I'm going to change this to white and give it a bit of a border. Cool. And let's add our Lottie in. All right, let's make it a little bigger. A lot bigger, actually. Nice, I like that. Let's just check the settings. Okay, so we want the action after it's over to link back. What's up, everyone? This is Future Parker here. I left all of this in about adding a Lottie animation because it definitely would have worked, but it was really late and I didn't realize I was setting the action to the click action. So what happened was the Lottie wasn't going to play and then link back like I thought it was. It was only going to link back when you tapped on the Lottie. So later on, I thought that this was just broken and went a different direction, but I wanted to leave it here and just record a quick overdub style fix so you knew that this is totally possible and would have worked if I would have either had some more sleep or more coffee. So carry on. Okay, so that all looks good. Now we need to add our randomizer. Actually, first, let me do this. Let me group these together and just make sure it's fixed here. And then what I want to do is add my randomizer. Just add that under the Lottie somewhere. And we will update the logged in user and just set a new unique code. Okay, so let's try this. Let's see how it goes. I'm gonna hop in. I believe I'm logged in as my test account. I need to click on the profile. Oh, that didn't seem to work at all. Let's check and make sure that we're linked. Left icon. Nope, it's not. It's linked back. We need to go to reset code. Nope, we need to go to profile. Sorry. Link to profile, slide left. There we go. And then this is linked to reset code. Great. Okay, try that again. Hop into preview. We will click on the profile. Okay, so we've got our share code. It's 885770. Let's try clicking reset code. Okay, so not what I wanted at all, but it did reset the code, so that's one thing. I do not like the animation. Actually, I think it's better to just reset it, so I'm gonna delete it. And on here, what I'm gonna do is we're just going to link back. Okay, so let's try that again. Reset code. The link back after the reset doesn't seem to be working because it's still kind of in this modal mode. So I'm trying to think what we could do here. Let's try, once we visit this screen, let's see if adding a link back, actions, link back will work. Preview. Yeah, that works. It does have kind of that weird delay with the modal, but I think that's okay. I mean, it shows that something happened and the code is definitely resetting, so that's what we want. So, good deal. Okay, that seems to be working with the reset code piece. So now someone could reset their code if they needed to, and they wouldn't lose their connections. Everyone would still be connected to them. They would just not be able to find, any new people wouldn't be able to find them using the old code at that point. All right. Sweet. So I think that this is everything we need for the unique code piece of things. We'll keep building on this app in other tutorials to get it to a better place, and of course use the deck swiper to get into actually using food recommendations. But hopefully this was a good way to show you how to use those unique codes and the randomizer. If you need anything, reach out. Be happy to help out.